talking last time, Chovot Levavot, how people amass money and they don't realize that money has a purpose. It may be to give to others. It may be to pay his bills. There's things made for basic necessities. There's things he needs to give to other people in his family. And then there's money that's meant to be for capital to reinvest. And a person, big mistake he makes is he thinks that all the money he makes is for his own discretion to use whatever he wants, and everything's considered basic necessities. Everything's considered maintenance of his body, and therefore he doesn't care to spend on whatever he wants, and he doesn't care to give to the not to give to the car properly because he says it's my money. This money's not meant to spend on tzedakah. It's meant for me, and if I want to go out of my way to give from a part of myself instead of enjoying myself, I'll give it away. That's a nice thing to do. He doesn't realize that that's what you're obligated to do. You're supposed to give money to the tzedakah. It's not like, oh, you give up from your personal stash that's meant for you. It wasn't meant for you from the beginning. So therefore, that's a big mistake he makes. Another big mistake over here, he says, Shlishi, Shuhu noten et ravim lebalehem. Right? He says that he's giving the provisions, even though he's giving the provisions he received to the rightful owners, according to the Creator's decree, right? Let's say he does give tzedakah. But what does he do? He makes a mistake. He goes to them, he says, hey, remember I gave you that donation. You owe thanks to me. You owe karatato, gratitude to me. You better not mess me over. You better do the favor I ask of you. So why do they do that? Because they think that they did you a favor. If you think that the money is really deserving for you, and you did a chesed, a kindness, and you gave tzedakah from money that was entitled to you, so then of course you're going to remind people, hey, remember the big favor I did for you? But if you realize that tzedakah that Hashem gave you, the money that Hashem gave you, you were supposed to give tzedakah with it to begin with. Hashem made you so wealthy, and you're very low maintenance. You don't need so much money for yourself, and Hashem gave you so much extra. Obviously, He gave it to you for you to give tzedakah and to support other people. So then, when you do that, when you give to when you know this, you won't go to people and remind them, oh, remember I gave you money and you wouldn't have survived the month without me. Remember I gave you and your yeshiva existed only because of my donation. Remember that? I was supposed to give it to you, so why do I have to remind you? Why do you have to tell me thank you? It's like a guy. He did what he's supposed to do. Oh, you see, I threw away my plate after I finished using it. Oh, Chazak Baruch, thank you, Chazak Baruch for doing that. Of course you have to do this. Why do I have to tell him Chazak Baruch? That you are a human being, that you threw away, you clean up after yourself, basic decency. That's why I give you Chazak Baruch. Same thing, this guy. Of course you were supposed to give tzedakah with the extra money Hashem gave you. Why did Hashem give it to you in the first place? I have to tell you Chazak Baruch, and we have to bend over backwards for you, or we have to remind us to be grateful to you. Okay, we can be grateful to you, but it's not like you did something like so, That's what you were supposed to do. Chazak Baruch, that you did what you're supposed to do. Most people don't do what they're supposed to do. Interesting over here, he says that in regards to what we were speaking about before, about amassing money, what you're not allowed to save? In America, they're very into teaching us you have to save, even though everyone's a credit card, but the concept of savings, the concept of investing, that's very talked about in our culture. The note over here says, even though Chovot Levavot discourages hoarding money, this doesn't mean that a person should not save anything for the future. In fact, it's very reasonable that if you have extra income, you should save some for upcoming needs. For example, let's say you have a son's wedding. You know that's going to cost a lot of money. It makes sense to save up money for it to your son's wedding, right? Or your son's bar mitzvah. It's fiscally responsible to set aside money for that event. So what is the Chovot Levavot talking about? How people make a mistake of amassing money. He's talking about the attitude. What is the attitude? Is all the money that Hashem sent for him is for your own use, or is it meant to be shared with others? If one has funds and savings, does that provide assurance for the future? Or does he look to Hashem that eventually he'll be able to put it to good use? Your attitude, right? A person could see $20,000 in his bank account and say, see, I'm good. He sees $1 million in his bank account. Now I can sleep good. I rely on the money in my bank account. If anything happens, I have money. My bank account is going to save me. And that could be a mistake because why? You're supposed to be banking on who? You're supposed to be relying on who? On Hashem. It's not the money. It could be that money will be gone tomorrow. At the end of the day, you'll have to rely on Hashem. So the attitude is what the Chavod Lev was saying. People who amass money, their attitude is wrong because they think this money is all theirs. And their attitude is wrong because they think now I'm safe and I can be stable and I can relax because I have money in the bank. And that's wrong because A, they're not realizing the money they have is for it to give out also. And B, they're not realizing that they have to rely on Hashem. Not the God on the dollar, the God in Shamayim. That's what they have to rely on. So therefore the sages made it clear the need for fiscal responsibility by ruling one should not give away more than 1/5 of one's assets to charity, lest you become poor and need to accept handouts. However, there are many exceptions to this rule. The Chavetz Chaim says, for example, let's say you have a steady income, so you're allowed to have, you'll know you'll have enough for your needs, even if you give more than 20%. Or let's say the funds will go support Torah. So therefore, you see that the attitude is the main thing, not about amassing money. Amassing money is fine. It's just you have to make sure to give tzedakah, and you have to make sure not to be having emunah in the money in the bank. You have to have emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, let's continue. So he says, what happened? This guy is arrogant. He gave them tzedakah, and then he reminds them that he gave them tzedakah. V'yaniah hodato alehem. He comes. His heart becomes proud and conceited. He neglects his debt of gratitude to Hashem for granting him the privilege of distributing provisions to others. What does he have to do? When a guy gives a big check to an organization, he gives them $10,000 donation. What is he supposed to do? He's supposed to go to them and tell them, you have to make me the board of the organization. I give you a lot of money. You have to make me on the board. I have to make decisions. I have to be respected in this organization. You see how much money I gave? I have to be respected. I demand honor. That's wrong. What is he supposed to do? He's supposed to go to who? He's supposed to go to Hashem and say, Hashem, thank you for making me the person be able to give. Thank you for making me the shaliach to be able to give $10,000 to tzedakah. It's such a privilege. Already that makes me so happy. I don't need kavod. I don't need to be anybody's board. I don't need anything. The fact that Hashem gave me the zechut to do this, that's what I'm grateful for. And he should think that if he thinks that if I would have not gave them the $10,000, I would have kept it in my possession. And what? So it says the Chavod Lev, and another mistake they make is, let's say the guy comes to you, he gives you, he says, listen, we need $10,000 for this chesed organization. Can you give us? Listen, now's not the right time. Go bother somebody else. Listen, you just came to me last year, charity campaign. Isho Adi, another charity campaign. Come on, guy. Where's the $2 million I gave you the other year? What happened? So he doesn't give. So what does he think? He says, oh, phew, I got them out of my hair. Now I get to keep that money that they wanted from me. I get to keep it for myself. Oh, shtabach shemo. Now I can go another vacation. I can go to Cancun. No worries. So what happens? He says the Chavod Lev, that's a mistake. Because that 10,000, what are we supposed to do with it? Hashem gave it to you for what? For to give it to them. For to give tzedakah. And you didn't give it tzedakah. So now you think you can keep the money? No. You're going to become poor from this money. This money has no bracha now. This money is going to go anyways. Right? What did the Gemara say in Masechet Moed Katan? Right? It was in Moed Katan, I think. That Rabbi Yanai, he came to his nephews. He said, I had a dream about you guys. He said, what happened in the dream? He said, in the dream, I saw you lost this amount of money. So you should give tzedakah, a lot of tzedakah, and that will be the kapara instead of the government coming to get it from you. So they gave tzedakah. It was a big money. It was like tens of thousands of dollars. So they made the calculation one time. So they gave a lot of tzedakah that year, and then he asked them for the accounting books. They were missing a little bit. They were missing a little bit from what he saw in the dream. They gave a lot, but they didn't give the whole thing. And then right before Rosh Hashanah, the Roman officials came and demanded a tax from them. And that tax that they demanded was exactly the amount that they were missing to give tzedakah. So you see that what? He was saving them by giving tzedakah that loss they were supposed to have, because everybody has a set amount of money they're supposed to get and make on Rosh Hashanah, right? The Rosh Hashanah is decided. So the amount of tzedakah you're supposed to give would be from the losses. But now since you didn't give it tzedakah, so anyways it's going to go to a loss. But now it's going to go a loss, that's not a mitzvah. Now it's going to go a loss in business, a loss, and something breaks in the house, loss, and something, you got some medical bill that comes up, Haz and Shalom, you know? So therefore, this guy, he thinks, oh, I didn't give them the 10,000, I keep it for myself. Mistake. You're going to lose his money anyways. And he thinks also what? He also thinks that they're, now what are they going to do? Let's go see where they figured out. Where are they going to get if it's not from me, where are they going to get $2 million from? And he's a mistake. Why? Hashem has many ways to give them. They're going to find money anyways. They're going to have a different donor. You just didn't have the zechut to give to them. And that zechut would have protected your money and blessed your money. But now you didn't have the zechut. You thought like a pea brain. So now Hashem says you don't have zechut in your money. Now your money will go away for nothing.